Hi there, everyone. This is Sharon for another Conscious Sharon moment. And so, for today's Conscious Sharon moment is I love myself enough to. And this came to me when I was meditating today earlier. And oh my gosh, this is so liberating. Oh my. And so the only thing I can tell you is to say to yourself, I love myself enough to. And like sometimes, like we were saying affirmations or self motivating things, sometimes they may not always have the power, or sometimes it almost seem like we're trying to convince ourselves of something. And sometimes we may be. But with this, when I started saying this, because it's almost like I love myself enough that I would not tolerate anyone to disrespect me. I love myself enough that I only entertain those who are loving towards me. Now, don't get me wrong, we do need people who can tell us about ourselves to allow us to grow, but we don't need anybody who's going to be like rude about it or anything like that. And so just tell yourself that. It's like, I love myself enough to say no. I love myself enough, like whatever it may be. It can be people, places, or things. It can be your job. It can be certain friendships you may have. It can be certain things you may need to stop doing. And so this was just so liberating for me. I'm like, yeah, there are certain things even I need to stop doing, stop giving other people permission to do. And so, what about you? You love yourself enough to what? Whatever that may be. And you will be surprised of what comes up. The other thing is that the other thing that will come up is our own behaviors. Because I'm like, oh my gosh, am I doing that? Because, like, I love myself enough to speak the truth, regardless of what someone else says. I love myself enough to speak my truth, even if I'm uncomfortable. I love myself enough. So, again, oh man, I just felt like I really had to share this, with the conscious and self-care world because of the fact sometimes, we hear people say sometimes, we're the one who's adding to our struggles, or we're the one who's adding, to what may be going on in our lives. I say it depends, not everything. However, sometimes we can be giving people permission of treating us in certain ways because whatever reason, whether we want them to do something, don't want them to do something, or whatever it may be. So it's really important to give yourself permission to be you. And then if anyone who's in your circle who cannot accept you for that, now I'm not talking about now if you rude and obnoxious, and I'm not talking about all that now. Meaning with loving kindness. The other thing that I've discovered, sometimes people can be nice, but they still may not be treating you right. So be mindful of that too, meaning that you love yourself enough to know the difference, that you love yourself not to entertain individuals like that. You love yourself enough to honor yourself. You love yourself enough to be kind to yourself. You love yourself enough to do what you feel that is right for you. You love yourself enough to give yourself freedom, whatever it may be. So, yes, 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 definitely love yourself to be you. Love yourself to go after your dreams. Because one thing I will say, no matter where you are in life, in the sense that if you are not being true to yourself, there's a part of you inside of you that knows that, and it will continue to push you so that you can be free to be you. And so make sure that you love yourself enough to be you. Sometimes we think that we are, but sometimes that we're not. Because even me, this is why I'm in this game here along in life, just like everyone else. And this is why I'm sharing these things, in that. Give yourself permission to be you. Give yourself permission to grow. Give yourself permission to learn something new. It could be a hobby. It can be something to a new job, And I've discovered when it comes to jobs, no matter what job that we're in, we're pretty much just learning or is on the job training. So you can be on a job for 20 years, you're still you're still in training because you're forever learning about yourself. So look at opportunities. So how do you love? You love yourself enough to what? Look in the mirror. That's the other thing too. Oh, I was so powerful this morning because I was looking in the mirror saying, oh yeah, I love myself enough. And then I realized that I was doing some things or not doing some things that was not in my best interest. So love yourself enough so that you can be free to do what you are set here to do. So as we move on throughout the day, again, write it down too. Write it down, shout it out. Because that's the other thing. I got emotional too. I mean, it was all different kind of emotions that came along with that when I had that experience this morning. And so love yourself because sometimes people think love is, oh, it feels so good. No, love has fire in it so that you can do the things that you are set here to do. And just like me as well. And so we're all in this together. We just may be on different paths. So it's important for you to love yourself enough so you can be free to be you, especially as you're on this journey, because we're always on a journey as well, whether we know it or not. So give yourself permission to be you so that you can be free and you can do the things that you were set here to do. So that's all I have for this conscious sharing moment. And just know that you can check me out on a regular basis and go back and listen to some of those old conscious sharing moments. Because again, these conscious sharing moments, again, there are things that pop up in my head sometimes. Sometimes they're observations that I've made, into the world. Sometimes somebody can say something. And sometimes they're just for me revelations that I've had, and I like to share because I know I'm not the only one. So, like and share Conscious Sharing Moment, and remember to check out my website for any updates and any upcoming events and things of that sort. So, enjoy your day, Conscious Sharing world, and self care advocates. Enjoy your day.